And so here is my second session with Sam in the round pen of trying to introduce the draw to him. And so I chose an eye and I went up and I asked him to take a few steps to the left and follow me. And he instantly moved away. And so I just allowed him. I didn't chase him. I didn't add any pressure. I allowed him to move onto the rail. And then I went back to just trying to catch his eye and invite him into my space. And so I always describe it as what feels like this elastic rubber band between the two of us. And we're sort of doing this energetic hook and draw. And so as he's walking away from me, I just stay with him. I keep backing up. I try and catch his eye. And when he looks at me, I try and draw him back in. And if he continues to step away, then I just put myself back in that position, try and catch his eye, and I try and draw him in. And so sometimes if he picks up pace and he starts to trot, then I'll just allow him. I'll add a little bit of pressure. I'll get him to move his energy forward. And then when I feel like he's in a nice, calm pace, then I'll go back to trying to catch his eye and draw him into me. And so here, it took a few attempts, and then he finally did come in. And then I went to test that connection and see if he was connected. I took a step to the side and he moved away from me again. And that was fine. I allowed him to. He went back out on the rail, and then I just kind of continued that dance. So I just make sure that he's moving forward and make sure that he's kind of releasing some energy, getting some stuff stuck or unstuck, sorry. And then I go back to trying to catch his eye and draw him back in. And so it feels kind of like, when I say that rubber band, for me, what it feels like is I kind of try and send my rubber band out energetically around him. And then when I take that step away, I'm trying to sort of feel that tension of rubber band between us and see if he'll draw it back into me. And so he is really good. He does come in and he does give you sort of those first few steps of draw. And then where he gets stuck is when you ask him to continue, where you ask him to sidestep with you and follow you along the rail. He'll often turn and run away. And so this was actually the first time that he chose not to and instead chose to stay with me and follow. And so he gave me a few steps and then I just stopped and patted him there. So again, the second, if you're working with your horse and just getting the draw is a challenge, when they do give it to you, reward them on just a couple of steps. We're not looking for, a 30-second walk around the round pen. I'm just looking for a few steps in the right direction that I'm asking. And then I give them that release and I give them that reward. And so he chose to run away again, and that's fine. I stepped in. I tried to draw him back in. He came, and then he tried to change directions on me. And so you always want to maintain the direction yourself. Like, you always want to choose which direction he's moving in. Horses will often test and try and change direction on you. And you always just want to make sure that they are moving in the direction you choose. And then once he does that, draw him forward for a little bit. And then I'm going to attempt to move to the side and see if he'll follow. And he's trying to block me a little bit, and that's okay. I'm just going to go in and put myself back in that eye and then get him to draw towards me along the rail. And you'll notice I never, get mad at my horse. I never, apply pressure and make it feel like I'm angry or disciplining them. I generally try and maintain a nice, calm, grounded energy anytime I'm working with them. If they want to express themselves, they're fully allowed to do that. He gets to go along the rail and choose to disconnect and walk away if he wants, and he gets to go express himself in a safe space away from me. And then when I feel like he's released all of that, then I'll draw him back into my space. And so I like showing these videos. I like showing the beginning steps of everything so that people can see that it can take a long time. It can take quite a few sessions to introduce things. It can take quite a few disconnections and experiences where they're running away from you and they're running all over the round pen. Like, that's just the reality of introducing anything to a horse, not just liberty and liberty techniques. But so I love to share these videos and show the transparency and try and walk people through what I'm doing in the moment and what I'm feeling and the thoughts that are kind of moving through my brain and how I am working through everything with my horse. Because Liberty is a new technique to me as well. So I myself am learning along with my horses. And so I love the idea of being able to share these videos and just being transparent as possible and showing people all the beginning stages of what we went through when we were learning together. Because the reality is that is what most people are going to experience that are watching these videos, is they want to learn how they take their horse that has zero experience with Liberty and introduce that to them while they themselves are learning. And so I'm just going to keep introducing the draw, asking him to step in every now and then, making sure that he is connected. And so the nice thing is in session 1, when we were doing this, he was actually just blowing past my shoulder. And so I would ask him to draw. He would get really uncomfortable with the pressure, and he would just blow right past my shoulder and around the round pen. Sam was quite polite. He never ran into me, but he had no problem running through that open space between my shoulder and the fence. And so I like that this whole time his head is nice and low. He's relaxed. He's connected. His feet are, fluid. He gets a little stuck in certain areas, but he's moving quite nicely with me. And so that makes me really happy. And so once I felt like he was nice and calm and relaxed at the draw, after asking a few times, I just ended my sessions on that. I think it's always really important, especially at the beginning, to ensure that your sessions are shorter and ending on a good note so that your horse looks forward to spending more time with you the next time around.